So thank you very much. I'm really excited to be here today to be able to talk a little bit about my research, which is also in the area of software engineering. So this area is mainly concerned with studying the methods and techniques by which developers design, create, test, and manage software. So within this broader research field, my main research goal is to design tailored automated approaches to help facilitate developer needs throughout the software development and maintenance lifecycle. And one of the key tenets of my work has been to have a focus on practical significance. So what this means is I try to blend scientific discovery with practical applicability in industry. And I try to do this by working with various different companies to prove out a lot of the research ideas that we come up with in the lab in practice. So you might ask, okay, well, how can we get to this practical automation for software developers? And one of the main approaches that I've been taking in my research recently has been turning to mining software repositories. So software repositories have grown to become an incredibly rich source of information across a range of different software artifacts. So this includes everything from source code files to documentation, visual data like screenshots and screen recordings, bug reports, and design documents. So what a lot of my research tries to do is take all of this diverse sets of information that are available in software repositories and apply machine learning techniques to them in order to derive salient patterns, which we can then use to help inform the creation of automated developer tools. So typically when we talk about this type of research, it's situated somewhere along the software development lifecycle. So just to give you a very brief look into my research, I'm going to talk about two projects that are related to the design and testing of software. So the first one is called machine learning-based prototyping of graphical user interfaces for mobile apps. So the premise of this project is pretty simple. Basically, we want to take a mock-up of a mobile application that's created in a photo editing tool like Sketch or Photoshop and automatically implement this in prototype GUI code. And the way we did this was we tried to think about it from first principles. How would a developer actually go from this process of translating a GUI into code? And we found that first, they would detect or identify GUI components, then they would classify these components, and finally assemble them into a hierarchy and make sure they're compatible with reactive design. So this detection, classification, and assembly of these components form the foundation of this project. So in order to detect these components, we use a computer vision-based technique, where first we use an edge detection algorithm, we dilate these edges, then we derive contoured bounding boxes, and finally, we're able to derive bounding boxes for all of the different GUI components that exist on the screen. We can then use a machine learning technique called a convolutional neural network in order to classify each of these different images of the GUI components into their constituent types, such as a text view or a button or a drop-down menu. And in order to train this machine learning algorithm, we automatically mined software repositories for mobile applications. And using some of my past research, we automatically executed these at a large scale in order to derive training data that included the GUI structure for these applications, as well as labeled images of different GUI components. We also talked to some developers about this in order to see okay, how well would this actually work in practice? And what we found was actually really encouraging. So a lot of developers thought, oh, this would be a great starting point. They would appreciate getting a lot of the boilerplate code done. There's going to be some edge cases they admitted, but most of these are easily fixed. And they also saw an opportunity of this to be used in an iterative fashion. So I work across a diverse range of research areas in software engineering, from mobile software development to deep learning and software engineering. I'm working on a project right now that's working on transforming bug reporting, coming up with the next generation of bug reporting systems, improving software traceability for safety critical systems, developer-centric software security, as well as automating the development of accessibility features in software. And all of these encompass various different applied techniques from machine learning, natural language processing, computer vision, and program analysis. So if you're a new student who's looking to get involved in a research area and you're interested in the SE angle on a lot of these different topics, I think this could be a really good jumping off point for you to start to explore some research. So finally, I'll just have a brief plug. If you're interested in joining my group, we have all of these different topics that I'll be looking for students to be working on. And you'll get to work with a range of awesome academic collaborators from UT Dallas to Georgia Tech to University of Minnesota, as well as a range of industrial collaborators from Microsoft Research, Google, Facebook, Huawei, and Cisco. So if you're interested in talking more about me, about my research, or you just want to chat, feel free to drop me a line, and you can visit my website to find out more about different projects that I've been working on over the course of my PhD and my postdoc. So thank you very much.